Welcome aboard, everybody. All right, here we are. Welcome aboard. It's Tuesday. Masters Europe race, CHR. It's that time again. Can you believe it? I know I can't. We got about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go here. I'm Rick Sorenson. I'm your host. I'll be keeping you company for the next hour for fun and frolic, I think. At any rate, I'm Rick Sorenson. I'm here in New England. It is 12:30, almost 12:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. This is the Masters Europe race. It's the biggest of the Masters races. I'm also the owner and chief bottle washer of 152 Coaching, and I am accepting clients. It's $100 a month. I do specialize in tactics as well as training. A lot of guys do training, but not everybody can be really good at tactics. You have to have been there and done that, and I have. I've been racing for 32 years.
Right on.
And I've been a Cat 1. I was Masters National Road Champion, and I have 154 wins in real life, which I know seems a little outrageous, but it's true. So we're going to talk about tactics. We're going to talk about training. So for today, we're on the Greater London Flat Loop. Whole different ball game, obviously, than last week. So a lot more guys are going to be in play today. Makes it harder to get a good result. A lot of the bigger guys, this is their race. So anytime whatever race you enter, if it fits your skill set, that's when you need to try to get a good result. So my goal is to win the G's, finish as high as possible, and we'll see how it goes. Flat races are always tough because you end up with this blob that rolls around at 30 miles an hour, and not too many people get dropped. So then it all just comes down to the sprint. I've got an aero power up, so ideally I'd like to save that for the sprint at the end and get you a few spots. So we're under a minute to go. So I will take some deep breaths, get ready to rock and roll here. Thanks for joining me today. I'll talk and try to let you know what I'm thinking in between deep breaths. So good luck to everybody. Almost 100 riders in the pen. It'll be a blow and go for sure. Always be ready to just spring right off the line. Big watts. You do not want to get dropped. Just need to stay in contact. So here's your first selection. 2 minutes in, big bunch. Just need to sit in, make sure there's no breakaways that you're not part of, and let the group drag you along. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds, we have our front group. You don't need to be at the front, you just need to be in the front group. It's kind of like what I tell people about criteriums, the way I race them. Try to be invisible the first half. No one would even know you're in the race. In the second half, start to move up. And if you see a chance for an attack or a counter, that's when you take it. People start to get tired. Nobody's going to get away from this bunch. Not for a while. Maybe not at all. I prefer not to sit on the very back. That's a little scary in Zwift. Just get right in there in the pocket. Going 32 miles an hour. I'm going to try to keep my cadence as high as possible until I really have to mash the gears in desperation. Just remember, if you're really fit, you recover faster from a high cadence effort than you do a big gear effort. But you need to get your heart rate down and you're safe. Then you go to a bigger gear, lower your cadence, drop your heart rate a little bit. So we're going to go up this first little hill. Not too bad. Always watching what's going on in front of you. Don't get surprised. Don't get caught out. And you have to use gas or matches that you were not planning on to. Not a good thing. Technically, we're still in the warm-up, but I see they've changed it to lead-in. Because, of course, there are no warm-up sections in Zwift. Blow and go from the get-go. Pretty steady, 30 miles an hour. That's pretty fast. Almost impossible to get away. It's like this. So we're just gonna sit in, see what happens. I'm sure there'll be some more culling of the herd done here as time goes on. Just gotta ride smart. Ride as efficiently as possible all the time. Unless it's 2K to go and you're out the front by yourself. Obviously there's a time to really drop the hammer. If you're paying attention, you'll know when those times are. And if you're not, you could miss them. And all of a sudden you're sitting there going, what the heck? Anytime the bunch starts to line out, that means the speed's high. You need to be careful. I don't want to have to go to 700 watts to cover a gap that I should have been able to see before it happened. Four miles in, 21 miles to go. So far, so good. All the usual suspects in here, the good Masters guys. Popovic, Bierman, Kuhn. A lot of good guys. Take nothing for granted in these races. The goat is good. Honestly, if you've made this selection, you're a pretty solid rider. And if I can finish in the top 10, the final sprint here today, it's about probably the best I can hope for. But we'll try. I'm on week 4 of my 2018 training, so hopefully I can be a little better every week. It's a process, especially when you get older. I'm 62. Takes longer to lose weight. Takes longer to get really fit. Takes longer to get up in the morning. Just everything takes longer. So you just got to plan for it. Zwift is an incredible training tool. I don't know what I'd do without it in the winter. So we'll go up here a little ways, make another right, and go up that little hill. Might be a little faster this time. So you want to position yourself up there in the first 10. Mr. Flugbeal. I haven't seen him before. I would remember that name. Good on you, boys. Actually, gonna go left and no, we're not. Oh, we're on the Greater London Loop, so that's a little different. So those two guys jump off the front, but so much speed back here. Starting to stretch out a little bit. Yeah, get a little action here. Stretched out. Just got to stay in contact. Moving right along. Stay in the pocket. Not a lot of strategy here, just sit in, get a draft, keep an eye out. 7 miles in, 18 to go. If you haven't figured it out, I'm the one in the silver jersey, Tron bike, black helmet. I'll pick it up a little bit here. Don't need to be at the very front. Don't want to be at the very front. So my max heart rate this time of year is about 175. So I got a little room to move. 153. Very steady pace. Nothing easy. Some guys got dropped out of that group. Can't lose contact, or you're in trouble. It's a pretty boring loop, actually. Not my favorite, but hey, everybody's got to ride it. Probably working a little harder than I'd like, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. There's definitely guys pushing the pace up there. You should change your position every now and again. Give your legs a little break. That's a tough little section right there. Gaps all over the line. Now it's up. Pretty fast. Some guys got popped back there. The group just gets progressively smaller. All I can say is that was a long lap. 10 miles in, 14 to go. Oh. Yeah, that was the toughest part of the race so far back there. That little false flat uphill is tough. Guys pushed it.